For over 4,500 years, the Great Pyramid of Giza has stood as one of the greatest engineering achievements in human history. But how was it actually built? Without machines, without steel tools, and without modern technology? The answer is far more fascinating than most people realize. For modern viewers, it is difficult to fully grasp the sheer scale of the Great Pyramid of Giza. At first glance, it may look like a simple geometric structure, a massive pile of stone blocks stacked neatly into a triangular form. But once the numbers are examined, the true magnitude of this project becomes almost unbelievable. The Great Pyramid consists of approximately 2.3 million individual stone blocks. Most of these blocks weigh between 2 and 3 tons, but some granite stones used in the internal chambers weigh as much as 70 to 80 tons each. Altogether, the pyramid weighs more than 6 million tons, making it one of the heaviest structures ever built by humans. What makes this even more astonishing is the time period in which it was constructed. The pyramid was built around 2560 BC, more than 4,500 years ago, during a time when humans had no iron tools, no wheels suitable for heavy transport, no cranes, and no engines of any kind. Everything was done using stone tools, copper chisels, wooden sledges, ropes made from plant fibers, and human labor. The pyramid originally stood at 146.6 meters tall, making it the tallest man-made structure on Earth for over 3,800 years. Its base covers more than 13 acres, and each side of the base is almost perfectly aligned and nearly equal in length. Even today, constructing something of this scale would require thousands of workers, advanced machinery, and years of planning. For centuries, historians, engineers, and scientists questioned whether such a structure could realistically be built by ancient people. This disbelief gave rise to countless myths, from lost civilizations to supernatural assistance. But the truth, as modern archaeology reveals, is far more impressive than fiction. The Great Pyramid was built by humans through extraordinary organization, knowledge, and determination. For a very long time, one of the most common beliefs about the Great Pyramid was that it was built by slaves. This idea became especially popular through ancient Greek writings and later reinforced by movies, books, and popular culture. The image of countless enslaved people suffering under harsh conditions has persisted for centuries. However, modern archaeological discoveries have completely changed this narrative. Excavations near the Giza Plateau have uncovered the remains of a large workers' village located just a short distance from the pyramids. These findings include well-organized housing, bakeries, breweries, storage facilities, and even medical treatment areas. Such infrastructure would not have existed for enslaved laborers. Instead, it points to a state-supported workforce made up of skilled and semi-skilled Egyptian workers. Historical evidence suggests that these workers were organized into teams, often referred to as gangs, each with its own name and identity. Some of these team names have been found inside the pyramid itself, carved into stone blocks by the workers. This strongly indicates a sense of pride and belonging rather than forced labor. Most researchers now believe that the workforce consisted of around 20,000 to 30,000 people working in rotating shifts. Many were farmers who labored on the pyramid during the Nile's annual flooding season when agricultural work was impossible. In return, they received food, shelter, clothing, and social status. Medical analysis of skeletons found at the site shows evidence of healed injuries, proving that injured workers were cared for rather than discarded. This level of organization reveals a highly structured society capable of managing massive projects. The Great Pyramid was not built by slaves, but by a motivated and organized workforce serving their king, their religion, and their civilization.
One of the most remarkable aspects of the Great Pyramid's construction is not only the size of the stones, but also where they came from and how they were moved. The majority of the pyramid is made of limestone, a material that was readily available in quarries located just a few kilometers from the Giza Plateau. These local quarries provided the bulk of the building material, allowing workers to extract stone efficiently using copper chisels, stone hammers, and wooden wedges. However, the most impressive stones came from much farther away. The granite used in the king's chamber and other internal structures was quarried in Aswan, more than 800 kilometers south of Giza. Each granite block weighed tens of tons, making long-distance transportation an enormous challenge. Yet archaeological and geological evidence confirms that these stones were successfully transported along the Nile River. The Nile was the ancient Egyptians' greatest natural advantage. During the annual flood season, the river rose and allowed large cargo boats to travel closer to construction sites. Recent discoveries, including ancient papyrus records known as the Diary of Merer, describe how stone blocks were loaded onto boats, shipped downriver, and unloaded near Giza through a system of canals connected to the Nile. Once on land, the stones were placed onto large wooden sledges. For many years, scientists debated how these heavy sledges could move across desert sand without sinking or stopping. The answer came from wall paintings and experimental archaeology, which showed that workers poured water onto the sand in front of the sledges. This technique reduced friction by nearly half, making it possible to move massive blocks using coordinated human effort. Through clever use of natural resources, simple physics, and precise teamwork, the Egyptians solved a problem that still amazes engineers today. Transportation was not a mystery of lost technology, but a triumph of practical knowledge and organization. While transporting massive stone blocks across land was a major challenge, lifting them upward as the pyramid grew taller was an even greater mystery. For centuries, historians and engineers have debated how the ancient Egyptians managed to raise millions of heavy stones to heights exceeding 100 meters, all without cranes, pulleys, or modern lifting equipment. The most widely accepted explanation today is the use of ramps, but not a single ramp design fully explains the entire construction process. Instead, most researchers believe the Egyptians used a combination of ramp systems adapted as the pyramid increased in height. At the early stages of construction, a straight external ramp was likely used. This ramp may have been made from limestone rubble, mud brick, and compacted sand, extending from the ground up to the lower levels of the pyramid. Such a ramp would have allowed workers to drag stone blocks upward on sledges using ropes and coordinated pulling. However, as the pyramid grew taller, a straight ramp would have needed to become extremely long and impractical. To solve this, archaeologists propose the use of spiral ramps that wrapped around the exterior of the pyramid. These ramps would have allowed stones to be raised gradually while maintaining a manageable slope. More recently, some evidence supports the theory of internal ramps hidden within the pyramid's structure itself. According to this model, narrow passageways ran inside the pyramid, allowing stones to be maneuvered upward from within. This theory helps explain certain internal voids and anomalies detected by modern scanning technologies. Although no single ramp theory has been definitively proven, the combined ramp approach offers the most practical explanation.
It reflects the Egyptians' ability to adapt their construction methods as challenges evolved, using engineering logic rather than mysterious or supernatural means.